Good evening and welcome along to another Friday night My Albion TV live stream for you. Steve Potts, West Ham United, the visitors from East London. Well, despite some recent disappointment in the cup competitions for most of the Albion sides, there is still plenty to play for in the PL2. This is the first season of the new format in the league. Top 16 will qualify for single elimination playoffs. And the higher you'll finish, the better the draw based on league position. Seagulls currently sit in 8th, so still every incentive to finish as high up in the top 16 as possible. Couple that with the fact that the Hammers knocked the Seagulls out of the Premier League International Cup quarter-finals last month, and there may be a point to prove for Shannon Ruth's side. And it's a strong squad he's named tonight. Adam Webster is brought in as an overage player at the heart of the defence. Shashane is back in as captain. Afire, Perpion and Baker Boerty are also brought back in, making up the 5 changes from the side that beat West Brom here a week ago. Mark O'Mahony is among the subs. And for West Ham, it's just the one change from the side that was soundly beaten 3-0 at home to Fulham a week ago. Ryan Battram drops to the bench, and Northern Ireland under-21 Patrick Kelly replaces him in midfield, coming up against his compatriot Rory McConville tonight. So almost ready to rumble. Officials just taking a look. We are a couple of minutes late for the scheduled 7 o'clock kickoff. Referee Ruben Ricardo, assisted by Peter Lowe and David Hutton tonight. And I'm sure you'll see at the bottom of your screen as the night goes on. 4th official in between Steve Potts and Shannon Ruth, Anthony Cross. And there is the first touch for the most senior player in this squad today, Adam Webster. He almost found a way through to Cam Perpion in the opening minute. That diagonal driven ball. I say it's a strong side that has been named by Shannon Ruth tonight, and that may be because of that Premier League International Cup defeat at the end of last month, going down 2-1. Perpion on the score sheet that day, but Skulls and Orford with the goals to put West Ham United through to the semi-final of the Premier League International Cup. Hall looking up towards Afire. Getting there first was Clayton. Baker Boerty just shrugged down. Play goes on. On this near side, it's with Earthy. Back in again to Clayton. Looks as though the visitors shaping up with a 3-4-3 as they did last weekend. That only change in midfield, as I say, Patrick Kelly coming in for Battram in the centre of midfield. Clayton on the left, Robinson on the right. Front three of Earthy, Mubama and Swire. And then a back three of Louis Sao, the Brazilian, Casey the captain, and Levi Lang. Shashane looking again for that diagonal. Second time they've tried that in the opening couple of minutes, and Perpion will get on the end of this one. Both teams appeal for it, although a bit less vigour and enthusiasm in the appeals from Cam Perpion. So goal kick. As for the Seagulls, they line up with more of a 3-5-2 at times. It could be a 3-4-3 as well. Stephen Hall in goal, his second PL2 appearance. Made his debut last weekend against West Brom after joining from Adelaide United. And then a back three, imagine for most of the time, with McConville, Webster and Atom. Fire on the right-hand side, Perpion down the left, Doyle and Shushane in the middle. And then very attacking three of Baker Boerty, Mullins and Flower. Webster had stayed up there, just got enough on it to put it out of play.
Have a look at it.
Louis Zhao back now into Knightbridge in the West Ham United goal. Louis Zhao clips one up, looking for Swire. But unable to just get that ball down after overturning possession. Atom, ball very much stationary now. Doyle is the short option. Helps it on. Mullins just loses out. So a bit of a scrappy start in the first few minutes. McConville back into Webster. Mubama it is doing the chasing early on up top. Number 8 on number 8 there. Doyle up against Kelly. Neither side able just to hang on to the ball for a sustained period early on here.
Get the picture, Cam and Divine. Come on. Stay in front for now, stay in front.
Been a good campaign for the visitors from East London, currently sitting in second in the PL2. As I say, had some cup joy in the Premier League International Cup. Also, the age group below in the under-18s, they won the FA Youth Cup last season. Knocked out to Man City a couple of months ago, but that was a cracker. Some very good sides at that age group. McConville, and it may have been looking to find Hall there, but Webster is about. Mullins, good lay off that. Driving down the middle here at the Seagulls. Shushane looking right to Baker Boerty. Manages to just about cling on to it. The offload is into Mullins. Now Perpion with the low ball across towards Safire at the back stick. Just over his head, gets something on it. Unable to keep it down. It's a good few occasions already where they've worked the ball out to Perpion. He's managed to latch onto the end of it. This time he has a cross in towards Safire.
Stay left. Stay left. Good, bro. Go. Shane.
They'll go rather harmlessly behind.
Early. Yes, Tommy, bit higher. Tommy, bit higher.
So an interesting new format, as I was saying there. 26 teams in the PL2 as of this season. Bottom 10 will miss out on qualifying, and the season will end after 20 game weeks. This is West Ham United's 17th of the season in the PL2. Same for the Seagulls as well. Just had a sniff there, did Flower. Took his goal so well last week. Same can be said of Jamie Mullins, and they assisted each other as well. We'll be looking to replicate some of that tonight. Flower's done well to win this corner. Shushane. Baker Boerty is the shorter option. Shushane. Good amount of whip on that one in towards McConville. Atom's there as well, and the ball bounces towards the bottom right corner. Those in blue and white didn't know too much about it. Bit of a ricochet. Knightbridge was able to claim to his right. McConville getting involved. Atom swings a boot at it, and then it comes off Kelly and into the arms of Knightbridge. So the Seagulls just edging it with 7 minutes on the clock. Webster knew he didn't really have time to bring that one down, so just helps it on aerially to McConville, and now a fire. Doyle. Good pressing there from West Ham, and it has just forced the issue somewhat. Louis Sau getting involved higher up. Looking for Swire there, but good work from a fire to step in. Now Doyle's got space ahead of him though. Shane thought about the switch over to the left-hand side with Perpion, but just biding their time. Atom now, who's having a decent season of it in his debut season for the Seagulls. Had at least a couple of goals to his name as well since signing from RB Leipzig. Mullins looking for the return from Flower. Placed up over there by Robinson. He tidies that one up nicely, actually, does Robinson, and so too Lang to help out. Mubama dropping deep. Mubama, one to keep an eye on as well, leading the line for the Hammers. Only had 4 PL2 appearances this season, and that's mainly due to his involvement with the senior side in the Premier League. Named Young Player of the Year last season. So now a chance for West Ham just to thread a few passes together. So rather frenetic, scrappy start with both teams just struggling to hang on to the ball. Clayton just waiting for the movement. Down the line from the throw. Mubama, I think it was, who got the touch on that. But Shishane will roll it back now to Hall. Webster up to Doyle. Picks the gap there up to Baker Boerty. Neat enough up until then as McConville goes up to Flower. Good hold-up play from Flower. He's also in his debut season for the Seagulls after joining from Chelsea. Already up to 9 goal involvements in the league. Mullins does well to win the free kick. Shishane, for a moment, was in a hurry, but then just decides to wait on. I think it was referee Ruben Ricardo who was asking him just to wait for an extra moment or two. Baker Boerty's over it as well now. Nobody was really picking up Perpion here. 2 in claret and blue around him, but he finds the ball back to Shishane. They don't make the most of it there, the Seagulls, so Mubama with the layoff. Ooh, Mullins does well to win that one back. Perpion. Just faced up there by Earthy. That's a neat twist away from Doyle. May just, via a deflection, find its way out to Cam Perpion. Spent a bit of time on loan with Cheltenham Town earlier in the season, so some senior EFL experience for the Aussie. McConville getting involved now. McConville back into Webster. He goes first time into Mullins, who deals with that impeccably because it wasn't really where he wanted it, but chests it down nicely and then able to shrug off the challenge. Take the free kick, relatively sharpish. Mullins again, looking lively in the opening 12 minutes. Perpion, what can he conjure up here? Still going. It's nice from Perpion, just gets a little clip there, just inside the area. No complaints at all from those in blue and white. Maybe just more of a stumble than a nick there from a West Ham player on him. Webster again centrally picks out Baker Boerty. goes the Hammers press. Seagulls backing themselves again. Mullins laid it off to Perpion. Now Shishane. Doyle. Now Hall. Gives it to a West Ham player centrally. On Mubama with the effort. Really good block in there from Webster. Had to be. Well, they were looking good enough with the passing at the back for a moment, but that clearance there from Hall not the best. It's played into Mubama there. And it was Webster who prevents that shot going on target. But it is at the expense of a West Ham corner. Clayton places the ball down there. Edge of the area, you can see Kelly. Casey's up as well. High delivery and Mubama goes down, but Atom gets his boots through the ball rather than the player. Giving up possession again though here to Orford. Kelly. Too many in blue and white around him. Good work defensively there from the Seagulls. Now can they play themselves out of trouble this time? Shishane. Oh, and there's a bit too much on that for Webster. For a moment there, West Ham had it back on the edge of the area. Doyle was the one scrapping because for a long while Swire looked the favourite to get there. Here goes Baker Boerty though. Doyle just leaves it to him. Now Atom, all those in blue and white in the West Ham half. Doyle still has it, had options, and does find Perpion in space. This is where the Albion want to knock it around and find the incisive passes. Shishane. Well, you can hear the shouts of unlucky there, I think, from Adam Webster. It's the right idea, looking to set away Cam Perpion down the left channel again. They did it early on in the first couple of minutes on a couple of occasions as well. If you are just joining us here tonight, no massive chances, a fairly important block from Adam Webster, preventing the shot going on target. But this is Baker Boerty to strike it, always rising that one. Maybe just hurried the effort there, Benicio. Baker Boerty. Baker Boerty's had his first taste of Premier League action this season. 4 Premier League appearances in total. His debut was from the bench against Chelsea in December. That's scooped up, looking towards Earthy again. Brighton deal with it for now. That's clipped forward again by Webster. Smart control there from Louis Flower. Again, not an easy one to execute. Mid-flight there as he cushions that one into his control. So another look left and just ahead of Perpion. Continuing to plug away with those balls down the left. Webster rose high enough for that, but just didn't quite time the leap well. So West Ham had a sniff for a moment, and they've got another sniff there with Robinson, who couldn't hang on to it. Baker Boerty looking to help it on into the path of Shishane, just filling the void left by Perpion for the moment. Mullins. Shishane looking in towards the box first of all. Now down the line, Mullins. Can he pull it back here? Just a few too many West Ham shirts around him, just crowded out there. But that's where the Seagulls have looked most menacing, down the left. Mullins and Perpion, on a couple of occasions, have managed to enter the left side of the box, but not been able to find the telling ball across just yet. Earthy just dropping deep for a moment. Gets it back there from Orford, England under 18. He's appeared in every single PL2 game for the Hammers, says Lewis Orford. Another one who was part of that FA Youth Cup winning side last season. Luizão, Brazilian, back into Orford. Luizão, another one who's appeared in every PL2 game this season. His first full season after leaving Sao Paulo for London last January. Chance here for Earthy just to try and shift it over to the right with Swire. He is able to keep the ball in play. Lays it back now for Robinson. Kelly. Plenty shirts in blue and white in the way. Mubama goes to ground, but nothing doing there. In hope rather than expectation from Mubama. There goes Mullins. Good touch away from Luizão. Played in towards Flower. Can he get there ahead of his man? Oh, the offside flag has gone up though. Well, more good combination play from Mullins and Flower. Starting to really get a good understanding. Those two players worked well for both of the goals last week against West Brom. And it almost paid off again there as Baker Boerty just tugs on the shirt there of Clayton. Flower and Baker Boerty, the aggressors, but it's a composed side-footed ball forward there into Casey, the West Ham captain. Now it's with Lang. Mubama up against Webster. That's a decent battle that's starting to develop. Imposing figure of Divine Mubama. And they played that one quickly. On his bike here is Earthy. To his left, Clayton. Orford now to Luizão. Well, both teams have had a bit more possession as the game has gone on so far, high up the pitch. So it's an interesting encounter with just under 21 minutes played. Lang looking in field, all the way back into Knightbridge. Flower was looking just to nip in there and was pinged away from him by Casey just at the right moment. But they are finding a few more areas of space on this near side, the left. Clayton's made the run. The Fire was alert to it and he should get there first. Back into Hall. Now McConville. Just happy for West Ham to drop into shape and then commit a few forward to open up those gaps. Doyle. Layoff is into Mubama from Swire. Again though, those blue and white shirts converging around the West Ham players in those areas. Can they do it again here? Earthy looking to set away Robinson. Perpion stayed on his feet, still going though. Well, decision to be made there by the referee. Says play on, and Perpion is on his bike going down the other end. Well, West Ham have just switched off here. Flowers made the run. Well, I think the reason why they'd switched off is player is gone down off the ball. We'll see it again here. It's good work from Robinson. He collects it so well after going down. Well, Sinham given. And as you probably guess, no VAR to over-examine that. So this isn't the only game happening in the PL2 tonight. Southampton are a goal up to Crystal Palace. Fulham are also in action. They are away at Leeds United. That one still goalless for the time being. Levi Lang, who is just being helped to his feet there, just about helped to his feet by the West Ham United medical staff, towering above him there, hobbling off. It might just be the end of Levi Lang's night, former England under-16. He's been ever present, playing the vast majority of games in the PL2. This is his third season with the club after leaving Arsenal. Also has a senior appearance to his name. Made his debut in the Conference League a year ago against Larnaca. So of course this time will all be added on at the end, or you'd hope the majority of it is added on to the end of this first period. I think they're just waiting really to see if Levi Lang is okay to continue, or if they will make the substitution. Steve Potts will be reticent to make a change for one of his centre-backs unless he absolutely has to. So just for the moment, well, it doesn't look as though Lang is going to continue. He's off the field of play and he's being helped around the sidelines, as you may have just caught a glimpse of. But play goes on. Mullins, Perpion to his left. They try again down the left side of the area. Pull back into Doyle. Doyle to have a crack. Oh, and that's not far wide. May have been a slight touch in there from Knightbridge. If so, it's a cracking save. Well, this time they do fashion the opportunity after good work down the left. Doyle invited to have a pop, and that is not far wide at all.
Next time, yeah. Next time. Next time.
So certainly the first shot in anger from Shannon Ruth's side at Jacob Knightbridge's goal. So here comes the substitution with Levi Lang off the field of play. It's going to be Sean Tarima to join in, the 19-year-old. Signed his first professional deal in the summer, and it will be like for like, as you'd imagine. So Sean Tarima comes in as part of that back three for the Hammers. Long from the free kick over on that far side. Brighton get the decision. Shane back into Perpion, all getting a little bit tight back there, but Doyle is on hand to help out. There's plenty of space on this near side if they can just work it across. Instead, the throw in, they'll take. Well, I don't think Mullins thought that it was given in the Seagulls' favour there, the way he lobbed that away in disdain to Perpion. They have given it away now, though. Earthy, good challenge in there from McConville. Only as far away now, though, as Divine Mubama. Again, a wall of blue and white ahead of him, so forced back out wide right. Robinson with the delivery. McConville away again. Louis Sau has stayed up. Kelly, still got Louis Sau to his left. Also now with Earthy. Earthy and Clayton, it is combining on this near side, the left. Brighton have been able to keep them quiet for a while. It's been down the right where West Ham have started to get a bit of joy more recently as the clock ticks towards half an hour played. This time it's rather no nonsense, but it does find Mullins in an area of space there. Again, a couple of West Ham players quickly surround him. Clipped forward by Louis Sau, in towards Earthy. Clayton trying to join in, but McConville can sweep up. First time from Hall. Here's Doyle, also in his first season with the club, first few months actually after joining in January from Southampton, where he started at just 9 years old.
Good, Cam, good. Well done.
Atom stepping forward now. Shane gives it back. Gets it back from Doyle. Mullins, who's been more than a handful in the opening half an hour, not able to keep hold of it, and then just gives away the free kick. But good intensity from Jamie Mullins, former Bohemians player, his first full season after that move across the Irish Sea last January. Louis Sau looking down this near side, the left. Earthy is there, but much like how West Ham are doing it to Brighton, Brighton able to converge on those in claret and blue when they need to so far. In a bit of a cul-de-sac there. Shane was looking for a fire. You can see he's not happy with himself. Kelly now, perhaps sizing one up. Instead, it's Mubama. Good layoff. This could be really dangerous. Swire! Oh, Hall with a spectacular save to his right. Well, they were desperate to pull the trigger there. Good work from, first of all, Kelly, then Mubama. Swire creates the half yards. And it's a great stop to his right from the Aussie. Well, by far the best chance of the evening, that. Still got to deal with this corner towards the back post. Good right hand on that from Hall. Danger not clear yet. Kelly, first time ball, whipped towards that back post. In fact, it's well over the crossbar. So looking for his first clean sheet in a Seagulls shirt, and he's going about it in the right way, Stephen Hall. No doubt will have been in conversation with Cam Perpion about the club, both Australia under-23 internationals. It was a bit tight there for a moment with Hall on his line, but they have managed to fashion a chance here, perhaps out on the right with Boerty. Good hold-up play again from Flower, but Doyle couldn't quite latch onto the end of that one. So Obama drops off just to overturn possession. Now we'll just trot backwards, further forward. Fire putting the pressure on there and forcing the issue. First time clearance from Knightbridge. Good work from Swire, who had that decent chance earlier. Played in now to Earthy. Trying to lay it off into Clayton. This is really dangerous. And it's the first goal of the night. Divine Mubama. Well, just a few moments ago, they threatened to take the lead. This time, they're able to play it in through Clayton. Didn't give up on that and just passed into the bottom right corner by Mubama. So a good move from the visitors, but Seagulls more than capable with just under an hour of the game to go to get back in this one. Haven't played particularly badly. Just couldn't prevent that opener from close range for Steve Pott's side. Just over 10 minutes of this first half to go. Fire was looking perhaps for the return into Doyle, but instead it's to his opposite number, Kelly. There's the substitute, Tarima, looking for Robinson. Just a bit late there on Perpion over on that far side. Mullins with the layoff into Shishane. Flower in turn was trying to do it with his first touch as well, looking for Mullins, but sold him a bit short. So Flower looks to redeem himself by applying the pressure. Webster is aware of Clayton, just saw him there to take a look over his left shoulder. Atom now. Again, just looking for the option. Shishane is there, Doyle is there. Webster up to McConville, Doyle. Threads that one through to Flower. They work it out nicely. And maybe Gaffire could be in. Well, it's an important challenge from Clayton. Will Knightbridge keep it in? Just about. Good goalkeeping that from Knightbridge because it was rolling out for the corner.
Inside. Finish there inside.
Swire in a battle there with Perpion. Comes out on top. Now into Orford. Dropping a touch deeper there as well. Louis Sal's got Earthy here to his left. Head up towards the goal scorer, Mubama. A little bit too heavy-handed there from Webster.
If he's doing that, yeah?
Higher one. I'll be there, thank you.
Brighton eventually get the ball down on the edge of their own area there, and now Atom can play it out to Mullins. Shishane up to Doyle. Doesn't find Doyle, instead Baker Boerty. But there goes Flower. Flower to level things up. Oh, and again not too far wide of that right post. It's a good knock forward there from Baker Boerty. Flower takes a look up, trying to pick out the bottom right corner. Not too far away.
First and seconds, come on. Cover, Tommy, cover. Screen. Yeah, come out West Ham, Paul. Come on. Come out West Ham.
Long from Knightbridge. Flick on it there. An important one from Robinson. Finds the feet of Mubama. Only for a while, though. This is a good-looking break from the Seagulls. Mullins just falls into Doyle there. I think the challenge on Mullins caused that. But the referee happy enough to let play go on. Robinson looking infield. Perpion and Shishane are back there. Shishane trying to track the run for a moment, the player on the right. Back there too is Baker Boerty. Orford. And Kelly. Seagulls just slot back into shape. Flower back there as well. Swire just moved out to this left-hand side for a moment. Been on the right before that. He's found some joy with the cutback. Really important intervention there from Shishane because there was a West Ham player waiting to have a go. Perpion looking for the switch, and it's a good one into a fire. This is where they'll just want to keep the tempo up as they go in search of that equaliser before the break. If you are just joining us, just the divine Mubama goal a few moments ago in the 34th minute that separates the sides. No look pass there from McConville, gets it back from Mullins. Now tries to play it into Flower. More good hold-up play. So there's plenty of pressure in the back of Flower every time he drops in. Baker Boerty, he's looked lively enough tonight. Perpion, faced up by Tarima. Twinkle toes from Baker Boerty. Mullins wasn't far away, but West Ham get enough on it up into Earthy. Doyle was able to toe poke it, but only as far back now into Swire. Making the run ahead of him there was Clayton. Continuing to pose a threat when they drive forward are Steve Potts' side. Earthy. Gets it back from Kelly. Good discipline off the ball from the Seagulls for most part. That's a good looking ball though. Mubama was for a moment ready to pull the trigger for his second. I can't believe that the decision isn't corner. Hall just waiting and waiting. Conville now picks out an accurate ball into Baker Boerty, who's in a hurry on the front foot. Now to Perpion, trying to create half a yard. Shishane miscues that. Doyle trying to wait for the ball to drop as well. Sliced clearance away by Clayton. Earthy's dropping deeper as well. Clayton again just puts his left foot through it. And Webster can just watch Mubama dive into that one. Plenty forward here then for the Seagulls. Oh, and that's just an unforced error there from Webster, out for the throw. Kelly picks it up from the throw. But once again, Baker Boerty really warming to the occasion tonight. Every time they drive forward, Baker Boerty seems to be the one dragging the Seagulls up the pitch. McConville needed to get that right, and he did. Doyle is there. Now Atom. Layoff is tricky for Shishane to deal with, but he made it look easy in the end. Perpignan can take over from the Tunisia international. Now McConville. Bit of space here for a fight. McConville's continued his run. Doyle is the option a little bit deeper here. But equally, West Ham off the ball. Look good in their formation and in shape. Trying to keep them penned back. Webster out to Perpignan. Swire is back there defending. A couple of step overs again from Perpignan. Shishane now works it into Doyle, just trying to clip it back in towards a fire. May still get there after the header, but Louis Sao on the scene first. And a fire. A judge to have given away the free kick.
Stay off, cover, ready, cover, Bobby.
So just over a minute of the first 45 to go. Divine Mubama's goal has given West Ham the lead. But Brighton have had a couple of decent chances. Doyle not too far away. Here is Kamari Doyle now. Square left of him is Noel Atom. Shishane again looking for the diagonal left to Perpignan. Right to Perpignan's feet, but again maybe just took his eye off it at the crucial moment. Right, managed to win it back high up, and now they switch it from left to right. Shishane, square now to Doyle. Atom was to his left. Back out now to a fire. Mullins just inside of him. Picks it up now. McConville. Shishane with the outside of the boot. Finds the feet of Doyle. Perpignan. Just finding it tricky to break through the West Ham defence. Maybe Perpignan will do it now. Just goes to ground, but Robinson just staying strong there. Webster flies in and gets the decision. Good work from Webster there. Committed in getting there ahead of the West Ham player. So easily go wrong, but he was able to get a touch on the ball and win the free kick. Shishane. Atom. Not for the first time tonight, all those in blue and white in the West Ham half. Webster and McConville and a couple of others now just forced back a few yards. Clip on the way through, that will help out Flower. There is an offside flag up, I believe, on this near side. Referee not happy with that, so the ball may have been moving, so back underway now. Flower is closest to Casey. Tarima back into Knightbridge. Into added on time now. Final few exchanges of this first half. Mubama, the goal scorer, sets away Earthy, but a fire gets goal side. Orford. Robinson had made the run, but Perpignan had tracked it. We'll pick it up now though, Robinson, and get a chance to run at Perpignan. work from Perpion defensively and with Mullins. Goes out for the throw, but nothing more than that, just doubling up on Junior Robinson, former England youth international, played as high up as England under 15 age group. Shane gets the ball out of his feet. Perpion back now to Atom. Aerial route from Atom does find Baker Boatty initially, but then Orford just nips in. Well, both teams have looked pretty composed on the ball, and pretty assured off it in terms of their shape. But it's West Ham with the lead. Maybe the Seagulls can restore parity here. Shane, can he get to the byline? Digs out a ball towards the back post, and well, Knightbridge may have been wondering whether that might just have dropped in to the far post for a minute, but no harm in the end, and West Ham will get us restarted for what could well be the last kick of this first 45 minutes and added on time. So Mubama with the only goal so far, just short of 10 minutes, short of half time from close range. But there's plenty more to come in the second half from the Seagulls, I'm sure. At half time then, Albion 0, West Ham United 1. Welcome back to My Albion TV Live for this second half in the PL2. In the first half, the Hammers just about edging it. A goal from Divine Mubama in the centre of your picture there. Actually his first PL2 goal of the season, only his 5th appearance in the league. As we see Caleb Vickers introduced for the second half. End of the night for Benicio Baker-Boerty, who looked lively enough, perhaps just managing his minutes though, because he has been involved with the first time a fair amount this season. Went out to Dubai for the warm weather training during the winter break. As I say, made his Premier League debut in December, gone on to make 3 more Premier League appearances for Roberto De Zerbi's side, so he's rested for this second half. And another chance for Caleb Vickers to try and impress. Prefers to be out on the left, but can operate on the right. Looks as though he is going to be predominantly on the right, and Perpion continuing on the left. Shishane into Doyle. Bit of space over there for a fire. Vickers ahead of him, opts to go back into McConville. Neat first time ball forward from Shishane into Vickers. Now a fire can drive on. Low ball across in towards Mullins. First touch wasn't the greatest, and that's why the ball just rolled away from him, and West Ham were able to clear over to the far side. Plenty of intensity and urgency about the Seagulls' play in the early stages of this second half. Similar tough game to the Premier League International Cup. Need to hang on here. Ball across. Hall just stands in front of that one. I think it bounces off his shin in the end. Mullins. Forward it goes towards Flower. Just had a high hand there, so that's, I think, why the referee's given that decision. So 2 decent teams. We've already mentioned about the Premier League International Cup defeat. That was a 2-1 victory for the Hammers at the Rush Green Stadium that day, and Shannon Ruth said as though tough against a decent side, but felt as though his Seagulls deserved a bit more. And they've still got time to turn this one around. Perpion, who was on the score sheet that day, trying to nick it away there from Robinson. That's played straight into the path of Atom. Brighton can't make the most of it though. Get a reprieve here with Doyle. Flower. Good work from him just to lay it off and continue his run, then just took his eye off the ball as he tried to return it to Perpion once more. Good injection of pace there from a fire. It had to be up against Mubama, who's certainly no slouch. Good pace from both of them there, and a fire able to roll it back into Hall. Atom. Good turn that from Mullins. Allowed just to progress down the middle here. Vickers to his right. Still going. Leaves it now for a fire to deliver. Towards the back post, to the feet of Perpion. Can Perpion? Good block in there from Tarima. Shishane now delivers towards the back post, and that will fly out and behind. Another good shot in anger though at the West Ham goal there. Needed to be hit by Perpion. Manages to sort his feet out and hit it at goal. Tarima in the way. Mubama gets there ahead of Atom. This time it's Doyle who can't sort his feet out. So here goes Kelly, was looking to lay it off into Earthy. But Doyle will have another crack at it here, and Clayton just grabs the shirt of the former Southampton player. McConville gets it back from Shishane. Flower not quite on the same wavelength there, so the West Ham captain Casey can step in. Chip forward for Robinson. Atom makes absolutely sure on the half volley. But Seagulls are going to be forced back here. Kelly into the area he goes, leaves it for Earthy, and they've doubled their advantage here, the Hammers. Just didn't stay alert enough there, the Seagulls. Throw in from the right. Kelly it is that just rolls it across the edge of the area, and it's a smart finish from George Earthy. Well, now a bit of daylight for the Hammers makes the task even trickier for Shannon Ruth's side. Still just about time on their side, but West Ham looking favourites now to top the PL2 this evening. As it stands, they are sitting pretty in first in the PL2. Gary Dicker and Shannon Ruth will be all too aware, though, one goal and momentum swings straight back in the Seagulls' favour. Just under 40 minutes still to go, so plenty of time. Headed forward there by Clayton. Another neat layoff there from Flower. Flower might get there ahead of Casey, but it was well watched by Knightbridge, waiting for the ball to slowly bobble into the area for him to grab. Floated up to Perpion by Webster. Turns into trouble there. Robinson and Orford in the way, but gets the decision. Well, Atom almost sells Webster short against Mubama. Given away again, edge of the area. Can't afford to do that against this West Ham side. Kelly. In towards Mubama for the third. And that could well be curtains for West Ham. 3 points, perhaps, for the Hammers. Still got well over half an hour to go. That mountain just got a bit bigger for the Seagulls to climb. Again, their own worst enemies. Doyle it was who just gave it away to Kelly there. And then Mubama's not going to miss. So now it just becomes about character for Shannon Ruth and Gary Dicker's side. Still got 3 games left of the regular season. And they do need to finish in that top 16 to extend their season into the playoffs. As it stands, they are still in 8th, so comfortably in there, but they want to rise as high as they can for the better draw at the end of the 20 game weeks. As it stands, it looks as though they'd be playing Middlesbrough sitting in 9th in that playoff. Louis Sal sends one long. Webster always going to get there first, and on the slide, unable to keep it in play. Brighton players just looking in the wrong direction here. There was a chance for West Ham to take the throw in quickly, but I think there's going to be a substitution first. So Afire is going to be replaced by Slater. And also Marco Mani try and nick a couple of goals back, maybe even more, with just over half an hour to go. Bit of frustration starting to creep into the Seagulls play after that third goal for West Ham, Divine Mubama's second of the evening. So two-man wall of Mullins and Vickers. Delivery not too bad. Hall gets firm punch on it and just spoons up into the air. Kelly into Tarima. Does fashion a ball across. Oh, and it's a big save from Stephen Hall to his right. Wasn't to know that that offside flag was going to go up. Well, it won't be a first clean sheet for Stephen Hall, but he's had a couple of impressive saves to make to his right. Look at those claret and blue shirts just swarm around the Brighton players, and the applause is coming from the West Ham dugout, unsurprisingly. O'Mahony trying to bring that one to ground. Smart turn there from Mullins. Perpion now has shifted back out to the right. Vickers making the run ahead of him. O'Mahony trying to get into the area as well. Doyle. Another chance for all of the blue and white shirts to enter into the West Ham half. Atom up to Shashane. Good layoff round the corner into Slater. Vickers now employed on the left. First time ball in from Slater. Decent whip on that. Perpion was throwing himself at that one. Substitutes just trying to drag the Seagulls forward, and the ball in from Slater again. Pretty accurate. Very close to Marco Mani's head. And a slight flick on the way through for the goal kick. Feints to go long and then just go short to Casey. Mubama starting to find himself in more and more space as Brighton go in search of what could be a consolation. If they get one early enough, it may be a bit better than that if they can add to it. Good work from Doyle. Back to him from Omani. Now into Mullins. Mullins close by to Perpion there. Doyle. Webster pushing forward now. Over to Slater. And Atom. Who's going to make the right run ahead? Vickers. Played back into Atom. Good spell of possession here in the West Ham half. Can they just find that final ball and finish? This would be a great goal if they can find a finish, because they've knocked a good few passes here. Perpion in towards the front post. Well, the build-up play was pretty good. Good number of passes in the lead up to it on the hour mark. Didn't really pack a punch there, though, with the effort from Perpion. Mubama happy to lend a hand deep again. Louis Sal now. Alford just surveying what's ahead of him. Out now to Tarima. Tarima, who was an enforced substitute for Steve Potts in the first half, with Levi Lang limping off the field of play.
Come on! What do you want from Cam? Come on! Cam!
Definitely goals to be had, though, for this Seagull side. Leaky at the back, but going forward, still fancy them, especially with Omani. I know Vickers now on the left. After he was brought on, he started on the right. Certainly favours being out left. Shashane now is looking out left. To Atom. Helped on now to Slater. Vickers is inside of him. Forces Tarima to prod it out for the throw. Taken quickly enough. Seagulls certainly not throwing in the towel with just under half an hour to go. Perpion it is, chasing that ball down, and Knightbridge doesn't quite put that where he wanted, out into that stand on the far side. Shashane's got Doyle with him still, and now McConville. That will stay in play, but a little bit further behind him than he'd have preferred, the Northern Ireland under-21. Omani. Doyle. Starting to settle into the midfield of Shannon Ruth's side after his January move. Too much on that for Atom, but Slater may get there. Sliding in was Swire.
Cam, go on, Cam, go on, Cam. Yes, Louis out. Regan, narrow.
Down the line from Atom. He's looking for the head of Omani, but he never leapt. Flick on in hope from Vickers. Goes straight to a West Ham player. Just had a bright spell there for a moment, did the Seagulls, but petering out a bit now, and credit has to go to West Ham. Incredibly organised. They've taken their chances and forced issues like this. Orford now striding forward to his right, Swire. Orford to have a go. Hall again will get it at the second time. Saw it a long way out, but it had to be saved from Stephen Hall. So 3-0, an unfair reflection on Stephen Hall's performance so far.
Open up, Cam. Open up.
This time more of a Route 1 approach from the Seagulls, and it's easily dealt with by Regan Clayton.
Get in touch. Get in touch.
Knightbridge up towards McConville and Mubama. McConville it is who nods that one forward. Webster. Now Atom. Back to the 29-year-old, and still sticking to their guns in the way that they want to play, the Seagulls. Saw that long ball forward, but that was just really to try and mix it up rather than no other ideas. All floating it up towards Mullins, but never looked favourite up against Louis Sau.
Yes, Cam. Come on.
Does drop
Cam.
into Seagulls' possession. Laid off by O'Mahony and then galloping towards the area. Perpion, in field of him is Mullins. Can they get a shot at Knightbridge's goal here? Shishane, now Doyle. Just waiting for the right pass, won't do anything unnecessary. This could be it. Shishane, back towards Doyle. And McConville to have a go left-footed. Block is in there. And the second ball is won by the Hammers. Hoisted upfield. Webster should get there ahead of Earthy. Score of West Ham's second tonight.
Together as a group. Yes, Georgie.
George Earthy enjoying decent enough season as well. He started all 17 in the PL2. 14 goal involvements. Well, 15 now with his goal today. 8 goals and 7 assists. Looking to add to that as the Seagulls try and stretch the game. Find some way back into this one. Very attritional at times. Use the word well organised off the ball. Seagulls are certainly that as well, but they've just been picked off at the crucial times. Omani does well to grab hold of the ball there. Almost lost it, but he's then able to play it out to Perpion. Trying to wriggle away there from Clayton, and now Kelly still going. Good work from Perpion to win the corner there. So another chance for McConville, Webster and Atom to wander forward. So Doyle and Shishane over this one. Lurking on the edge of the area there, you can see his Vickers, also Mullins. Doyle it is, high and whipped in towards McConville. Vickers plays it back from where it came to Shishane. Mullins just pressing the Seagulls further back there were West Ham. Vickers, West Ham just drop off here though, into Perpion. Can Perpion lifts it in towards, he was hoping to find Shishane. West Ham player again in the way. Been pretty resolute in how they've defended. And up the other end, Swire moves it out left. Is Earthy offside on that far side? Doesn't matter because it rolls out of play anyway.
Together, centre forward, Cam. Right side D. Narrow. Divine, forward,
Good.
left. There you go. Well done.
Left, D, left. Jacob.
Good, Junior.
Stay there.
Here's your man D. Again. Yes, D.
D, shoot, it goes.
D.
Go on, D.
This is Slater up towards Omani. Still persisting and believing in the passing forward, and it's found a route through to Omani to get one back. 3-1. Brilliant move from the Seagulls. Split the West Ham defence right down the middle. We haven't said that too often tonight, but they certainly deserve that. Lovely ball down the channel, and Omani never going to miss from that kind of distance. He's 10th in the league this season, and maybe, just maybe, could be the start of a special comeback for Shannon Ruth's side. Well, that's going to lift those in blue and white now. Can they just keep the momentum up? Just over 20 minutes to go. More than enough time. There's also more than enough time for West Ham to restore their 3-goal cushion. Orford now. Right down the other end again after the goal. Deflected into Hall's path, and may have been going behind for the corner anyway, but makes totally sure there does Hall. They can just shore it up at the back from this corner, the Seagulls. Fancy their chances. In at the near post, and eventually McConville able to stride out towards the edge of the area. Given away though, that's not helpful. Louis Sau. Now it's in for Orford. Hall with another important save. I make that his 4th of the night. And but for Stephen Hall, West Ham could well have been even further out of sight. Well, they make a mess of it here, the Seagulls, and Orford has to be struck at goal, obliges, but Hall in the way again. So another corner in quick succession. Towards the back post, and Hall with another important stop there. With his right hand, gets the faintest of touches on that, behind for another corner. Well, they've just got to soak this pressure up, the Seagulls. If they can get through this passage of play, then you just never know. This is precisely the moment where they need to stay switched on, learn from those earlier errors this evening. This time West Ham short from the corner. Towards the back post, Mubama is there. Anywhere will do by Slater. Understandably so, as I say, they just need to clear their lines. Try and get the foot on the ball, but it's coming straight back now with Louis Sau. Orford just behind him. This is Lewis Orford. Bends one out now towards Tarima. Vickers in his face. Now Mubama's just drifted out right temporarily. Chip forward for Tarima to give chase. Atom will get there first, just trying to shepherd the ball out of play. Is there enough revolutions on the ball? Just about, so throw in for the Albion.
Thank you.
On comes Sean Moore for Kamari Swire. Also, you can just see Joe Knight there, probably in the bottom left of your screen. See who he comes on to replace. On for Kamari Doyle. More Brighton PL2 minutes under his belt after joining in January. As for Joe Knight, he's successfully made the step up into the under-21s this season. Really his breakthrough season. He's had a few appearances with the under-21s before this season. He did make his Premier League International Cup debut earlier in the season. Also a few under-18s appearances, but certainly getting more under-21s football this season. Likes to dictate the play similarly to Shishane, so he'll just shape up alongside of his captain. This could be dangerous for a West Ham 4th. Orford finding himself in that kind of position a bit more regularly. But Brighton do come out one. That's got to be a free kick from Sean Moore there. It is indeed. Just goes in with his hand and shoulders there. Slater looking down the left channel. Vickers in a race with Tarima. Tarima it is that steps across and makes sure. Just over quarter of an hour to go. Shishane. Knight. Vickers got it from Slater. Now into Shishane. Looking for Omani again. Nodded forward there by Moore. Still penned back, so Brighton able to win it high up. That's just shaped out to Perpion. Another chance to go at Clayton, but also helping out is Earthy. They can move it out to this near side. There is a bit of space on the left, but they try and thread the ball through on that right inside channel. Doesn't quite come off that time. Atom up to Slater. Robinson again times the challenge pretty well. Getting on with it here. Knight to Shishane. Now McConville almost operating as a quarterback at times. Might be a bit too much of an ask there for Vickers. Well, doesn't he do well, Vickers? Didn't look the favourite to keep that one in, and he's manufactured a corner for the Albion. So a chance to load up the box again. Referee Ricardo not happy with something, just the distance perhaps of the West Ham players. Here we go, delivery in towards Omani, looking for his second from the bench. Well, he pulled away from his man nicely, just can't keep the header down. Ball whipped in towards the front post. As I say, he positions himself well enough, Omani, just can't keep the ball down. Good work initially from Atom, but the header falls into the path of Robinson. Now they play it down the right with Moore. Knight just stands in the way. Judged to have fouled the West Ham player there. Looked fairly innocuous on first glance, but Moore just hobbling slightly there. So the Seagulls trying to keep that line on the edge of the area from an offside point of view. That's easy enough for Hall. Alford will want that one back. Maybe the attackers just weren't ready for that one. That's why Hall can claim unopposed there. Good ball up to Mullins. Equally smart turn from the Irishman. Now out to Perpion. Vickers has stayed out right again. Trying to keep West Ham guessing. Was on the left, now on the right. Knight's made a run ahead of him. Perpion just inside. Good lay off that into the captain, Shishane. Atom joining in. Mullins looking to turn again. Was he caught late there? He knew he had to hurry it as he tried to find the feet of Slater. Referee is okay with that, so Webster can see Mubama again over his shoulder. Does well.
Yes, Noel.
Slater in towards Mullins. O'Mahony proving useful since coming on. He's the one who's got that goal back for the Albion a few moments ago. Earthy now. Gets it back from Clayton. Louis Sal looking for Orford. Good ball out towards the right with Robinson. Moore initially may have been offside, but Robinson can deliver towards the back post. Knight does the sensible thing and just directs the ball behind for the corner, unaware of what was behind him. So into the last 10 minutes we go. And the Albion do have a goal to show for their efforts, which is the least they deserve from this game. Two very good sides going at it. Orford to swing this one in. Hall, oh no, and Tatum off the line. Well, that would have been unfortunate for Hall. Up until that moment, he'd done everything right. Maybe just takes his eye off it. But Atom is there to spare his blushes. Was into that corridor of uncertainty. And Atom acrobatically over his own bar. Corner from the other side. Another good-looking delivery. Not sure if there was any touch on that as it swings out. Brighton goal kick. McConville across now to Webster. Looking to play it up to Mullins, who did well there, again under pressure. O'Mahony hunting this one down. Composed from Knightbridge to play it out to Louis Sal. Now Clayton. Blue and white shirts press up. One of them is McConville. Drops the shoulder against Mubama. That's decent stuff from Rory McConville. Now Atom. The German plays it across to Joe Knight. Good foundations this from the Seagulls, but then just sold a little bit short. Still the Brighton have the throw in. West Ham look to close down Hall. Atom forced the issue again. And now they'll just take their time. So a chance just to look ahead to what we've got coming up for the various Brighton Hove Albion teams. Slightly extended international break for the under-21s. Next game Monday the 8th of April. So well after Easter. That's away at Manchester United. There's more battles in there with Shushain. Moore does well. So many blue and white shirts around him. This now is Kelly. Webster kept his eye on it. And then has to slide in. Moore, well, that's a crunching challenge on the edge of the area. I say the edge of the area. According to the referee, inside it. So penalty to West Ham. Atom just needs to be careful. Red card. Well, unsure as to whether it's for the challenge or the dissent afterwards. But either way, Noel Atom has been shown a straight red for that challenge there. Well, that's what it started with, right on the edge of the area. Well, full-blooded tackle that from Atom. And he was in absolutely no doubt, was Ruben Ricardo. Points straight to the spot. Well, it's just suspicion of both feet being raised up and the stud showing, which is why it was quite decisive from the referee. And just well, it's the raising of the hand there as well. You may have seen he just pushes into the neck of one of the West Ham players. So either way, Seagulls down to 10, just over 5 minutes of the 90 to go. And it is left for George Earthy to restore the 3-goal cushion for the Hammers. Or perhaps Hall can be the hero. Great save from Hall, and on the follow-up, West Ham do make it 4-1. Unfortunate for Stephen Hall. Big stop before it, can't do anything about the rebound. Well, it's been a mixed evening for the Australian keeper. Firm save, gets everything behind it, but there was no way he could stop the follow-up. So one to move on from Sharpish for Shannon Ruth's side. Haven't played particularly badly, but they've come up against a West Ham side who've been clinical tonight. Stephen Potts will be thrilled. So it's about looking to the next challenge for Shannon Ruth and Gary Dicker. As I say, extended break around the international time off. Next game Monday the 8th of April. There is a game for Mikey Harris's WSL side this weekend on Sunday at home to Manchester City. Really tricky one in the making there for the Seagulls. And then next action in the Premier League for Roberto De Zerbi's side away at Anfield on Easter Sunday. Albion needed there to help out. McConville just runs into the claret and blue shirt, but unintentional, so referee allows play to go on. Perpion into Mullins, found himself in good space again. He's popped up in decent areas. Mullins, blocking there is from Tarima, but then that's a late challenge. So last few minutes for Ryan Battram to come on and replace Patrick Kelly. That was the only change ahead of this one tonight from their 3-0 defeat at home to Fulham last weekend, and they've firmly put that to the back of their mind with the performance tonight. Mubama offloads it in there to Moore. Now Warford, who's been able to dictate play more and more as the game has gone on. Lewis Orford. Good challenge that from Omani. Knight was looking to set Mullins free, but Mubama, who's looked imperious this evening, steps in at the right moment. Battram. Just winding down the clock here now, the Hammers, and just trying to make those Seagulls players a bit more exhausted. Junior Robinson doubled up on there by Slater and Mullins. They combine well defensively there though, and then Mullins again, who's just starting to be a bit more exasperated. At the end, a few late challenges creeping in from the Albion. But barring the passages of play since West Ham's fourth, they've been well in this game. Showed enough, so it's enough to take from it for Shannon Ruth and Gary Dicker. You may have just spotted in conversation on the edge of their technical area at the bottom left of your screen a few moments ago. All good experiences for this side, which the squad just seems to have grown a fair amount in terms of players that have either stepped up from under 18s or have made a move in from another club. As flying in there does Tarima. Referee says it's a fair challenge on Mullins. Likes of Casper Nielsen, Luca Barrington, Freddie Simmons and Harry Howell, the young startlets, who Joshua Duffus, all of them not involved tonight. So there's plenty of talent in this academy set up for the Seagulls, and it's about using them at the right times. O'Mahony certainly fits the bill of talented players, so too Joe Knight, but again, a bit of bitterness and anger about some of these challenges from the Seagulls, so they just don't want to do anything silly. Get this one out of the way tonight into the international break and ready themselves for a trip to Manchester. Louis out towards the left-hand side with Clayton. Red card is out of the pocket again from Ruben Ricardo. And it's Divine Mubama who's been given his marching orders now. Well, it's just started to boil over since the fourth goal, really, as soon as Atom made that challenge. You can see, oh, and yeah, left hook there from Mubama onto the neck of Rory McConville, and off Mubama goes. Shame, really, because he played well tonight, Divine Mubama. That's just tainted it slightly. So into added on time, 10 apiece. That's not 10 all, 10 players apiece, both down to Webster. Out it goes to Slater. Mullins just drifted out left. They get a second go of it. Shishane does well to steady himself with that challenge coming in from Batra. Now Knight. That's given the Seagulls something to work with now, a bit of momentum as Vickers comes forward. Lays it off now to Perpion. Two West Ham players in the way, roll back into Mullins. Good chance here for Oman, he scoops it over. Surely not a hat-trick of reds, no, yellow card in there. Well, Perpion does well, gets to the byline. Two West Ham shirts by him as he slides in. Back to goal, O'Mahony. Then I think just given for dissent for one of the West Ham players there. Couldn't spot an obvious late challenge or anything like that. Perpion, again they look to double up on him. Vickers spreads it in field and then just lifted out towards Slater. Doesn't quite get that one right, Shane. You can see he was a bit annoyed with himself there, because now West Ham can break. Orford into the challenge, looking for more, looking for a fifth. Oh, and off the line again, this time McConville. Well, Atom, when he was on the pitch, denied West Ham a goal. Now McConville, some great saves from Stephen Hall. Kept this one respectable. Vickers, good work driving forward. Perpion to his right, if he can pick him out. Here is Perpion, needs to find the cutback. Oh, and a cross goal to Mullins. Slater with the first time ball in. Perpion scampering back from an offside position. Well, one end of the pitch to the other. Sean Moore here just gets it through the legs, I think, there of Knight. And off the line from McConville after it rebounds off Webster there. And then down the other end, Perpion, not for the first time tonight, gets past his men to the byline, rolled into Perpion by Mullins, and then it fizzes across the 6-yard box.
Good run, Junior.
Orford. Important little flicked header there from Perpion, because it may have fell nicely there for Clayton, who takes the throw in quickly.
Step, Sean. Step, Sean. Step. Yep, Sean. Open up, open up, open up.
So there we have it, a fairly fiery finish. The Hammers hat-trick hero Divine Mubama sent off just before the end there. Noel Atom also giving his marching orders for a challenge a few moments earlier. 3-0, the Seagulls did get a goal back through Maho Mahoney. But in the end, in the PL2, it finishes Albion 1, West Ham United 4.